Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Happy Sunday morning. Jeremy from I Motivate Me. I hope everybody's enjoying their morning. I hope they've had their breakfast. They've gotten those nutrients that they need. They're ready for the day. You've got some kind of organized plan, or maybe you don't have a plan and the goal is to relax and take time off. And to be honest with you, if you're not watching this video and you've decided not to indulge in social media today, maybe take a break, give your dopamine responses a time to relax and regenerate themselves so that we can start the week fresh, more motivated, more motivated, not just to get back on social media and get back on your phone, but to maybe do the things that we want to do. If you've thought about maybe a purpose that you've had and been wanting to do, but you've had some resistance or fear in like doing those things, maybe we can start doing those things as opposed to indulging in sugar, alcohol, all of those things that we've become accustomed to for decades and decades and decades, since we were born, more or less, if you're an American. Anyway, one of the things I like to do daily is reflect on 3 things that I'm truly and sincerely grateful for. It's a good mental practice. It's a good exercise that I like to do where especially if I pray, I try to pray every night, and I'll pray during the day sometime. It's something I'm very mindful of. I've gotten closer with God. I've lived through my own purpose, through the light of myself, and instead of this guy, the ego, I live through myself. And so I live in that light and I have a path of purpose. And in doing so, I have become more in touch with my Creator. So I like to practice these types of things so that when I pray, I am sincere about these things. I thank God for a roof over my head, food on my plate every day, and for Him blessing me and walking with me and carrying me like footprints through those times when I needed Him the most, where I thought I was walking alone. And it turns out that I was not walking alone, for He was carrying me, right? These are footprints in the sand. We're not very mindful of these things sometimes when we think we're alone. And in reality, when we're living within ourselves, we are living with the Lord, and we need not worry. So 3 things that I'm grateful for today: my health, my past, and my fear. So with my health, with all of this sickness and death going around with the mainstream media, we're seeing a lot of things on social media as well. People have their different opinions. I'm guilty. I am one of them. I like to express my thoughts on the research that I do. I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I have very little social life. I don't drink. I don't really go out. I spend time with friends, but who's spending a lot of time with friends right now besides using our social media platforms to communicate with others? And so we have this routine of negativity. And in this time, I need to be mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically strong. And the goal of that is so that I can remain conscious. I live in consciousness. I raise my level of consciousness outside of the mainstream of consciousness. Meaning I don't have to follow what mainstream media is telling me. I can form my own opinion based on my diligence in research and investigating independently, an independent mind. And that goes with my health. In order for me to be able to be healthy in that way, I have to remain conscious, to remain consistent, waking up every day and doing small things. All of these repetitive behaviors, or all of these consistent actions, become behaviors over time, right? We build this foundation of behavior based on individual actions repeatedly and consistently. And in so, we remain in high spirit. It's important to have that spirit decor. Okay, whatever your purpose is, have a spirit that can be accomplished. And in doing that, I'm going to continue my exercise regimen. My physical health is very important to me. The next thing that I'm truly grateful for is my past. If you spend time in a little bit of silence, you have your phone off, you've got the social media away, you're not listening to external information, You are looking within yourself for a little bit of reflection and clarity as to what you've been through that's gotten you to where you're at. The past is the past. You can't go back. We let it go. However, we reflect on the past. We reflect on our successes so as to build on those successes, not resting on our laurels. When we rest on our laurels, we fall behind the momentum that we've created with that success. If we're traveling through time, right? If we're on Earth, it's spinning around the sun 365 days a year. The days is a unit of time, and the sun spinning around in the galaxy. The galaxy is traveling through the universe. And so we have this time that I refer to in a lot of my videos, and we want to maintain that momentum with our success. But we also want to reflect on our failures, because we should learn from our failures. If you can overcome and confront those failures and overcome and realize that we as human beings are going to fail every day. We are sinners. We make mistakes all the time. But when we reflect on them and we recognize these mistakes and we learn from them, we then end up with wisdom. Those who have wisdom do not repeat the same mistakes over and over. Those who are considered to not have wisdom have made the choice to continuously repeat their errors and their ways. And this goes with behavior change and taking action step by step. One action turns into two, turns into four, and those repeatedly become a behavior. And we want to continue positive actions that lead to positive behavior. And so that's one of the things that I like to reflect. The people that were around me in my life, people who showed the virtues of patience, of courage. If you're on the battlefield, many guys that I served with showed a lot of courage and valor. And those were things that I took with me always, because there were times when I didn't want to push forward, and people taught me to push forward. And when it came my turn to lead by example, I was able to push myself and others forward towards danger, towards fear, when other people would shy away. And so I learned unconditional love from those around me as well. So reflecting on those things and not losing faith in people ever. Even though people will try you. We have a lot of people living in excess to excess. So we live in a consumerism-based society where we really are very comfortable with the lives that we've lived, and we're not willing to give it up. So we allow ourselves to be influenced by a lot of external factors that feed that ego, and then we can't live through ourselves. We're not living virtuously. And so we have people that we communicate with that sometimes it's very difficult to, but you never lose faith. And that faith comes from others that you've had in your life in the past. And then we emulate those things so that we ourselves carry that with us, and we can sharpen those around us with the successes and failures that we've learned, and guide ourselves and guide others with our wisdom. And the third thing that I am truly grateful for is fear itself. FDR once said, we have nothing to fear but fear itself. And unfortunately, we are living in a society filled with fear and anxiety and all of these things that lead to external factors being echoed throughout your mind. And then all of these things build up, and you have a lot of things, bouncing around in your head until you can no longer organize your thoughts. It creates anxiety. We spoke about the momentum moving forward and how we want to use our successes and our failures and express our wisdom to ourselves and others to move forward and continue the momentum through our successes. But in not being able to organize and focus on each individual task to continue that momentum forward, we get anxiety, and anxiety leads to fear. Fear leads to hate. And these things lead to pain. And right now we are living in that kind of society and reality, unfortunately. But you ask yourself, is it a real reality? Or is it a reality that we're being told to live in, right? And so because fear is an obstacle, if you have a purpose that's been hounding you for a while, you've really wanted to do something with your life, it's like a passion that you've wanted. I like to consider it just a purpose. But if you have something you really wanted to do and there's a resistance that keeps you from doing it, whatever that resistance is, we can spend an entire episode on this resistance or this fear. People retract and shy away and they stay in their same position and they lose any momentum that they've had moving through the universe, moving through time. And when you fall behind the time, you end up with time constraints. You've got to catch up, so you're behind the time curve, right? And that leads to a lot of anxiety. And the greater the distance between where you want to be and where you should be and where you could be, if only you decided to take that next step and realizing it's going to take some work and dedication to not only get back up and catch up with yourself and reduce and remove those anxieties, remove all of those external factors in between, each one individually, conquering them, gaining confidence over time. Because fear is an obstacle. Because fear is an obstacle, that which is in the way is the way. Meaning, instead of shying away from that fear or that resistance that we have, we let that fear guide us towards it, because that direction is the same direction of your purpose and your passion. And how do you know that? Because fear and resistance is always standing in your way of achieving that purpose and that passion. And so that's what I'm grateful for, because if I'm not able to identify that fear, then what purpose do I have? I can't drive forward anywhere. I can't use that fear as an advantage in my favor mentally. And it is a mental game. Everything we do is 99.9% mental. So there you have it for the day. We have my health, my past, and my fear. Those are the things that I'm truly, truly grateful for today. Now, I'm grateful for many, many things, but those are the three things that I really felt are relevant to what's going on in our worlds as Americans and just in general as human beings, because we are all human beings. We all bleed the same blood. We are all in this together. And when you hear people say we're in the same boat, we are on the same planet. And the entire planet is being affected right now. So take this opportunity to think about the things that you are truly and sincerely grateful for and reflect on those things today. So happy Sunday. God bless everybody. Stay motivated, stay vascular, stay healthy. Get out there and walk. Enjoy your day. Wear your face mask. Do what you have to do, but get outside in some way, fashion, or form. And yes, you can look up to the sky, but when is the last time you've looked within yourself? If you can look within yourself and reflect, you will find more than what you ever thought you could. Stay healthy, stay motivated, respect yourself, and love yourself always. And this is one of the ways that you can express that respect and love for yourself. Give yourself the diligence. Do your diligence for yourself. And those around you will be taken care of, for they will see the true leader that you've become, not only for yourself, but as the leader of the pack. It doesn't take much to be that leader, I promise. It just takes some discipline, and it takes repetitive action to make a more healthy behavior. God bless everybody.